So as you can see, I've walled off the area and I connected it to the arc furnace room from immersive engineering. Doubt I'll be using it much. But I deliberately left this wall blank so I can push it out a bit. I don't know whether I'll need to, but I can't exactly push it. Well, maybe I can push it in this direction, or in the other direction, because it goes into a hill, but I may or may not be able to tunnel through. Regardless, I've got this wrench charging, and the charging station can take a lot more pressure than the pressure chamber. I don't know whether that's a good thing necessarily or not. I mean, if the wrench is 5.5 or whatever, I don't know whether this valve will blow or not. Regardless, enough yammering. Let me see what else there is in Pneumaticraft, or at least this branch of it. Well, there are a couple of machines which I might need later on. Like, for example, let me see. This thing, for example, the assembly table. Now, what do I need that I don't have? A pneumatic cylinder, which needs plastic sheets. But plastic sheets... I'm thinking of different kinds of plastic. And how I might be able to get away with molten... We have molten plastic, we have... What we don't have is latex, though, but how do you make molten plastic? With a thermopneumatic processing plant, biodiesel, and charcoal, or with liquid propane gas and coal. But wait a minute. We have liquid propane gas. If you remember earlier, I considered it a backup fuel source. But I may be able to repurpose that a little. And you know what else we just happen to have here? Well, it's biodiesel anyway. Let me just check something. Because this is biodiesel, but I'm wondering if it's exclusive to immersive engineering, because it looks a little bit different. Well, you can make it into lubricant? Oh, no, it's not different at all, is it? Yes, you can use this kind of biodiesel. But if I didn't have these mods available, I'd be using Pneumaticraft itself. And I'd be using it to make an oil refinery. Now, I don't need an oil refinery from Pneumaticraft because I have a way of making oil. But I can discuss what a Pneumaticraft oil refinery would look like by completing this quest. Now, this quest has it has 4 refinery outputs and a refinery controller. Now, a refinery is used to process a fluid into different fluids, which is interesting considering that that it's used in oil production, but it might not be exclusively used in oil production. And yet, the fluids are, well, oil into something else, but what something else depends on how many of these outputs you've got stacked on top of each other. What do I need to make? Okay, these are simple. Diamonds and reinforced stone slabs. We're going to make 4 of them. But I need reinforced stone, and I've got reinforced everything else, but not reinforced. Since there's 4 of these, I need 3 3 times 4, 12 reinforced stone slabs, or reinforced stones. I also need to quarry for cobblestones. I want to get all these building materials out of my way too, like these. We're not using them. Okay, so now let's see. Yeah, that's 13, that's enough. Where did I put my... I keep losing these crafting tables. I wonder where this one is, but regardless, I got one right in the... Yeah, there we go. In the immersive engineering room. I used it to make blocks of fluorine or fluorite when I was making fissile fuel. So I'll take that one and make it local. I suppose I could also use the one attached to my dimensional storage matrix. One, two, three. There we are. And we need 3 diamonds. We need to put these back. And I think the recipe called for glass. Oh, wait a minute. I need another diamond too. I forget there's 4. I suppose I could assemble this as sort of a model. Now this refinery controller needs a small fluid tank as opposed to a medium fluid tank. Would have liked to be able to use the medium fluid tank. I should have some... Yeah, I do have some iron bars left over. Not too many of them, but I've got them anyway. Oh, brother. I am running low on iron. Before we go anywhere else, I'm going to... I started iron processing earlier. I totally forgot to take it off the energized smelter and put it in my dimensional storage matrix. How much more of this stuff I got? Ah, it's backed up all the way, mostly. Well, I'll come back for more if I need it. This place is a little bit too much like a maze. So a small tank and more stone slabs. And redstone. Boggles the mind just how much of these resources I have. And there's the refinery controller. So how am I supposed to use this thing? Let's see. You stack the... so you put the controller at the bottom and stack outputs on top of it. This seems to me like it would be better as an outdoors kind of thing. So I guess to keep it out of the way, I'll put it low. Why is this here? That's just plain weird. I don't remember doing that. Anyway, put the refinery controller here. And then, I need some dirt. Yeah, just enough to make into a makeshift pillar. That way, I'll be able to sort of cut my way down. That's enough. So this is where the thermodynamics part comes in. Let me see what the entry here is like. Is it into a refinery or oil refinery? I don't see any entrance into row, so R, it's not there either. Okay, but crude oil is, so here we go. We can do it through that way. Now, the more outputs you have, the more petroleum products you can make. You can make kerosene with 3 outputs, and you can make gasoline with 4. But the other 2, which is the minimum, require liquid propane gas and diesel. And the lightest fuel always ends up at the top there, and the heaviest in the bottom. So they're arranged in order of in order of density, I think. I guess that's how it works in real life. I'm not 100% sure. However, liquid propane gas is used for plastic, diesel is used for lubricant for speed upgrades. Whether or not I need lubricant, I'm not sure, but I can always make an adjustment to the thermal series oil refinery I have. And you need to apply heat to as many faces as possible. And this is where those what were they called again? Vortex? Yeah, vortex tubes. That's what I'd use. Vortex tubes. Because if you use, if you put lava in there, suppose that I were to put a stack of lava in all 4 of these, right, like this, and then put like blocks in between. Well, eventually the lava will turn to obsidian as its heat gets used up. And I have to go up there and dig the obsidian down. Now the refinery controller, I think it requires heat, and that I think will be another vortex tube, but it processes crude oil into these 4 outputs. But as I said earlier, we already have a thing that processes crude oil. I'm getting these wind chimes. There we go. So this is really more of a, what do you call it? Proof of concepts? Conceptual something or other. Either way, I've got, the thermal series doesn't rely on heat, it relies on RF, which is much more universally compatible. So I'll be using that to produce oil and petroleum products. It's not the most green thing in the world to do. Never rely this heavily on them in real life, but that's beside the point. Ooh, and I got reinforced stone as opposed to reinforced brick tile. These quests seem to have reinforced their uselessness. Although I did get some reinforced brick tile. Maybe when I'm through with this, I'll put them in the dimensional storage matrix and be done with it. I can't see myself using them. Anyway, what about this thing? It's a thermopneumatic processing plant. Can I make it? Yes, it looks like I can. And it's looks like it's kind of similar to oh wait, you put them in a row and they share heat and pressure, and you use vortex tubes in them for them. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna need it eventually. Do I need small... I need... wait. Let me go back to that for a bit. How many... Okay, so it's just the one at a time. So again, I need 24 stone slabs. Can I really just not use these? Nah, I can't convert reinforced brick tiles. And what if I were to convert reinforced bricks into... No? Well, that's kind of useless, isn't it? Why do we even have reinforced brick tiles if they can't be used for... Yeah, that's a pillar, you can't use that either. Oh well, it was just a thought. So once again, 24 of these. Where are my pressure tubes? I had so many of them. Did I have lost them? I have lost them all. Oh wait, I have them in my inventory. That was dumb of me. Okay, so 8 small tanks. That require, let's see. It's 4 apiece. So it's 32. Glass. And... oh wait, I only need 4 of that. 4 of them. And one at the center, and 32 compressed iron ingots. Oh, and I forgot and the fluid tanks are another quest. So I suppose I can claim that too. And there we go. Thermo-pneumatic processing plants. Now, how would I arrange these? THI, here we go. So some of these, it seems, take pressure, some of them don't. They can be used to, they can be used like the refinery. And that requires both heat and pressure. It doesn't seem to tell you, though. The quest required 4 of them, didn't it? Yeah, 4 out of 4. I guess, if I had to guess, I'd say that it's the way it works is related to how the refinery works. It works like a better version of the refinery. Although the 80% return rate, again, seems to be the same as the thermal series version. And I think the way cotton chips are made, well, you cook the cod, but how do you make the chips? In a thermopneumatic processing plant. So that's what that one thing meant. And how do you make... You put a potato and oil, vegetable or seed oil, and how do you make the seed oil? Well, you could use a multi-servo press or another thermopneumatic processing plant and some corn. Well, that's real interesting. But there are a couple of different ways to do that. So it doesn't necessarily require this mod, does it? Now let me see. Where should I put this? Maybe somewhere nearby this, nearby the generator here. Although, I'd like to put the generator on the other side. How do I do that without disrupting things too much? Ah, there we go. Okay, so I just took the generator out without affecting the actual pressure inside. And then, suppose I put it here on the other side. Oh, whatever. And then you turn it around. Yeah, here we go. So it's connected. Or at least it should be connected. Well, I'll just put that to charge up a little. Or at least... Here, I'll charge that up. I so need a better air compressor than just the plain version here. Just gotta patch this up here. I don't know, maybe I was thinking of expanding it in the other direction? Ah, and the reward is a medium fluid tank. As opposed to a small one. Well, now I got two of them. I don't know what you can make with medium fluid tanks, but there might be something. And did I get the... Yeah, I got the reward already. Now it's this. It's a heat frame. Oh, and you can make... You can use heat or cold to perform crafting operations. It smelts items, or they can freeze stuff? Cool liquid. I'm kind of curious what this does, but it's simple to make. Really simple. As long as you've got... Am I out of cobblestone again? I'm gonna have to quarry some. And I didn't bother with an exit, but this doesn't lead directly to I swear it did, or maybe one of the other sides of the room does. Where can I go? Where's there a nice cave available? Ah, pneumatic cylinders. These are dungeon loots. I'll need more of them to make the assembly line stuff, though.